This week on Makeshift, we make a discovery. Life is pain. I start a new band. We interrupt your regularly scheduled content to bring you Top Hat Duck. And I become completely overcome with joy. Today we pick up right where we left off in the last episode. We're farming thousands of blue orchids, and today we're building the offloading mechanism that will reclaim the vaults from the ship. We're jumping right into things, and we've got lots to do. So kick back, relax, and welcome back to Makeshift SMP. Look at me. Look deep into my eyes. I have an idea. Kesal ran into some PC issues this week, and he's been offline for the last couple days. And you know what? That gives me an opportunity. I recently discovered that we have coins on the server, and I can make them into coin stacks, which is essentially just like a snow layer, but with like coins. You know, I mean, this isn't rocket science, guys. But I also found out that if you stack something underneath it and you place the coin layer, you can remove that, and it gets rid of the whole thing. And so this calls for a prank. One with easy cleanup. I'm gonna paywall Kesal's entire base. Do you see the vision? Yeah, you see the vision. Unfortunately, that means I'm gonna need a lot of gold. I don't know if I have enough gold for this. Ooh, inventories are very, very cluttered because just before this, I did a live stream. And I'll show you what we got into on the live stream a little bit later. For now, gold. Yes, in order to actually make these gold coin stacks, I need to actually create gold coins. And you guessed it, gold coins are made out of gold. So I'm gonna crush down this raw gold that I have here and send all this stuff to get washed. I should also be able to pull out all my blocks of gold and gold ingots. And hope this doesn't break my supply chains in here. And I can craft all these down into nuggets. And then I can send all of these golden nuggets to my press system. And that should turn all of these into coins. I don't know if this is going to be enough, but we're going to try. And now I can send all these gold coins to me, and I can craft them into gold coin stacks. Oh, this is an expensive prank. And the more ironic part of this is that I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be giving him a bunch of money because I'm going to have to go buy more gold so that my system doesn't, like, you know, stop functioning. Today might become a day where we make a gold farm. Well, that's not even a full shulker. Maybe I won't be paywalling the entire base, but we'll paywall something. Now it's time to paywall. Perfect. I'd say that works. Yes, this area is locked behind a paywall. I love it. All right, now that we have officially kicked a man while he's down, let's go take a look at the stuff we did in the live stream. We added in a bunch new supports over on this side of the port. And if you came to hang out in that live stream, I appreciate your faces. And if you didn't get the chance to, you can pop on over to Twitch and drop a follow. You'll get notified whenever I go live. Now, I'm not going to pretend that was the most productive live stream I've ever done, but we got to do a little bit of touring around the world, install some of these new Torii Gate supports, which I think are really cool looking, if not super simple. And I was notified of a very, very interesting fact. Apparently, Phantom Track can take turns just as tight as a narrow gauge track, meaning that I did all of the work previously to bury all of these narrow gauge track for nothing. Life is pain. But I'll survive. Maybe in my next playthrough, I'll just put the Phantom Track on top of the road so I don't have to worry about that type of thing. But yes, we also got the opportunity to fix some of the tracks over here that actually like get this guy to move around. And, well, now he's backward. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I'll fix it later. It's fine. But I want to jump straight into building today. I've got some cool ideas for what we can do over here at the port, so we can start transporting the blue orchids from our brand new farm over here, and we can start using them. We've got lots of block generators to put in today. And Kesal and I both made the decision that we wanted to transport vaults holding items instead of just sending them as packages because, you know, anybody can do the package thing. It's the sending things as a vault is a little bit more complicated, right? So we're going to need a spot to drop down a bunch of vaults and a way to offload them from the ship, which means I'm going to have to wait for it to come back around to know exactly where it's going to park, but we can get started on a few other things while we wait. Ever since I started this entire port, I've actually had this waiting and ready to go as a way to get here and back to my base like fairly quickly. If I go ahead and drop this down right here, you can see, ooh, we got a little bit of a thing here. I didn't know how this entire port was going to lay out, so I didn't actually end up using it in that episode. But as you can see, it fits almost perfectly to go right over the top of this entire port. And it's going to be for something very specific. Oh, I just realized I rotated it. That's going to be annoying to fix. Whatever, it's fine. So I'm going to raise this up one and scoot this over a couple blocks because this will become an Elytra launcher. I know it doesn't look it, but bear with me. It's going to be cool. I'm going to drop this guy back into here, and I think I should have everything on hand. And it looks like I'm missing one thing that I actually meant to do as a wax version. It's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and schematic this directly into the world. Let's go. Ooh, this thing is already looking super good. I'm just stoked with the way this thing looks, especially like in and amongst the details that are already out here on the port. And I didn't think, I mean, close up, it's kind of hard to see, but like these exposed copper girders alongside the brass ones, I didn't know how well that would mesh. But as like a sort of weathered, like paint peeling type of like look to it, it looks really good. And it allows me to work in a lot of these like exposed lightning rods alongside a lot of these other cut copper and cut brass, and it all like just meshes together really well. I'm kind of pretending that the brass is like a yellow paint, and if you look at it through that lens, it just kind of makes more sense that way. But the whole purpose for this being here is because, yes, obviously, Elytra launcher, right? Hypertubes. And these have the awesome ability, if you're wearing wings, and I am. It doesn't look like it, but I am. But if you're wearing wings, it will automatically put you into Elytra mode. All you gotta do is stand below it and shift. And then it just launches you. So this is a fantastic rocketless way to get launched over toward my base. And I don't have to have that just there. I can have it kind of anywhere. And this wasn't the only thing I cooked up for this in creative mode. No, we got more. Boom. Ooh, this thing is, oh, wow, wow. Okay. Whenever I started this transition, I didn't expect it to go for this long, but I did the whole thing. Yeah, I had a straightaway segment that I actually pasted in a couple times, and then I added another one of these support structures over here. So it kind of makes sense that it's being held up on both sides and like not supported by the roof. Oh, and it looks like I missed a couple things. But yeah, this actually gives me a great vantage point to show you the only difference between the one on the other end and the one over here. Since I don't foresee myself taking off from this side and trying to head that direction, I just disconnected this little joint right here. And so now whenever we use it, oh, apparently I've run right into something. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, apparently there was a hypertube block right in front of the actual exit. But yeah, this thing is going to launch me super fast, and so I can get over from there over to my base, like to run and grab materials or whatever, very easily. I think that's looking pretty cool. Very industrial. So now that we have this guy in place, I want to start laying out a mechanism that can pick up this vault right here, move it over on top of our port, and either drain it and move the items into one of these guys that I have over here, or swap it with another fresh one that can like remain here and like be drained as we need it. I think I like the idea of swapping the items from like one vault to another. I want this to be like in line because I don't think I could like rotate these effectively. I mean, not without making the contraption absolutely massive. So now that we have these perfectly in line, we're going to need some way to actually sticker the top of this. And I did go ahead and super glue this to make sure it all stays together. And then we would need to pick it up and move it over. And I think I'm going to have to use a combination of a gantry and a sticky piston, like a mechanical sticky piston. I think I'll need a gantry to move the piston into place, and retracting and deploying the piston will move it up and down. Ooh, wait a minute. If I used a gantry on this axis, I wouldn't be able to retract it, and the boat would just sail right through the gantry, because the gantry would have to go all the way over above this vault, and that's not going to work. No, wait, I'm a stupid idiot who's stupid. We can definitely use gantry shafts, because I just looked at some reference images of like what a shipping yard crane actually looks like, and they definitely hang over the top of the boats. I just have to build it taller than the boats, which is easy. I can totally do that. So frick these. I don't know why I was thinking this is a good idea, and also I just forgot about the other component that moves things up and down, and that is a freaking pulley. I need just a rope pulley. I'm stupid. Back to the drawing board. Oh, and another thing I wanted to test before I get too deep into like laying out this entire gantry thing is I'm pretty sure that if I have a gantry carriage, it'll push all the way to one end. But if I grab out a redstone component here, like let's just do a block of redstone. If I lock this, it can't move back and forth. See, I switched the direction and it's not moving backward. But that actor still functions, and it does still spin things. So I could definitely use that to move a rope pulley up and down. I mean, it will at least supply power. So I can change direction with that. And maybe if I were to glue a redstone contact to the end of this, I could have it power something that would then lock this. Maybe. Oh, it's already powered. And that's just from having this here. I see. Maybe there's something I can do with that. You know what I should do? I should do this in creative. All right, now that I'm in creative mode, I can actually, like, I think do this a little bit more efficiently. So we send this down. Sticker block hits. I can send a signal there. It's going to sticker. It's going to lift. I can now depower the gantry shaft and change the direction, and everything will go because the sub-contraptions all cascade off of each other. Even though the sticker block isn't super glued to the rope pulley, it'll still move the entire thing as one contraption, which is, that's all the mechanics done. So this does in fact work. I can move it over, and now if I want, I can move it down. Oh wait, nope, I lied. I can power this. I can move it down. I can de-sticker it, and then I can move it back up. Now, determining how to shuffle these around, that's going to be way more difficult. I don't know if I'm this smart, guys. But at least the mechanics all function. Okay, I now have a working circuit that does it semi-automatically. I can go ahead and hit this button. It's going to extend the rope pulley. It'll stop, sticker the block, and then it will retract. And now if I go over to here, once that sequence is done, I let the redstone run a little bit too long. Maybe I could lower this to 12 or something. I can flip that, and it's going to toggle the gear shift, and that's going to push it all the way over. And this is where we would run into a bit of a problem. I can't then use this same circuit because the input speed is reversed. It's no longer going the same direction. So instead, I'll have to have a chain drive going in between these two blocks and two sequence gear shifts coming out. Rather, it'll look more like that. And then we'll trigger this one for left side and this one for right side. All right, I now seem to have a fully functional toggleable system. It's gonna, I fell down. It's gonna go down, sticker the block, pick up the contraption, go up to here. I can then toggle the direction. It's going to flip the direction, and it's going to bring it all the way over. And then I'll be able to use this other sequence to deploy, stop, de-sticker, and retract. Now, all of this is dependent entirely on timings. So if something was to get in the way or something was to go wrong in some way, this is probably pretty susceptible to breaking, but at the moment, it is a functional system. Now, this does not account for different positions. I either have all the way to the right or all the way to the left. I don't have like intermittent stops where I could actually shuffle these things around. And that is an animal I'm going to have to figure out. We interrupt your regularly scheduled content to bring you Top Hat Duck. Come see Top Hat Duck at Rock Bottom live, October 30th, 6:30 p.m. Huge shout out to another British guy for your submission. And if you would like your pixel art featured in this world, you can pop on over to the Discord and you can leave a screenshot of your pixel art in our graffiti submissions tab. Maybe I'll even make up some lore for your pixel art as well. Either way, thanks for watching. Back to the video. So back over here on the server, I've marked out a shape for what the crane can actually look like. I might extend like a counterbalance thing off to the side over here and then do some sort of support thing here. But using chain conveyors as like tension cables, I think is like a really nice way to use those, especially because when they when you get far enough away, they LOD and they just look like solid lines. And I think that's going to look really, really cool. Obviously, I'm going to swap out all this scaffolding for like real blocks and we'll give it some more meat. So it's like a little bit more shored up, but I've also added in the mechanism in the center that's actually going to raise and lower this. Now, I only really need one of these. And also, by the way, I decided to swap out the rope pulley for these chain pulleys. These are from Bits and Bobs. And I think raising and lowering with chains, since this is a more of an industrial area, it just kind of makes more sense. But I'm pretty sure that if I have another one that's attached to the same structure, but not powered, it'll look like it'll like do it in parallel. I know it will do this with the elevator pulleys. Yeah, they have like a cosmetic feature, essentially. They will connect to the same contraption that's below them, even though they aren't run to any power. We're going to test it like right now. But if I get rid of those and we attach some power to there, I should then be able to configure these guys. And I don't need these to go all the way up to the top or anything like that. I essentially just need them to lift like 4 or 5 blocks. About the same thing that I had in the creative world. And that should be good enough. I also threw in an entire line of chain drives, just in case later on I want to be able to move this entire thing as a contraption back and forth. I did something similar over here on Spawn Island, and this was meant to be like a massive engine lift of some sort. But this will assemble as a train and can be driven back and forth by this guy right here. But having this chain drive go all the way down the line means everywhere this thing can stop, it will be supplied with power. And we're doing the same thing over on the port. So by running this lazy shaft all the way up to the top, I'll be able to supply that with power, and it'll be powered all the way along the bottom here. All I got to do now is add in some power to this chain drive, which I think I can do by just throwing in a chain conveyor right here. Ooh, but it looks like I am out of chains. We'll see if I have enough to do this. Maybe? Oh, there we go. Now we're supplied with power here. I just got to route some power over here. I don't want to power this chain conveyor right here. I don't need these chains moving. I can throw an Omni speed controller, and this comes from Dreams and Desires. It's like a 1-block rotation speed controller. And I can set this to about 32. I'll throw a gearbox right there, encase all of these. I'll do a clutch there so I can just turn this off for now. And I'll do my industrial iron gear shift right here. And now all of these just need some redstone links. This will actually supply the power to our sequence gear shifts over here. And this will be here so I can place a redstone link. Should be able to do that and super glue all of those together. I'll add a regular block in between this, glue that to this, and then I will encase that one so it looks symmetrical as well. And super glue that. We're going to set this to piston. We'll say move forward 5 meters, time delay, and we'll set that to 5 seconds for now, and then piston again, and we'll move it back 5 meters. And we'll do the same thing on this one. We're just going to do it the other way around. So this one starts forward, and this one starts backward. I don't know which side is going to be which, but we'll figure that out later. I should also be able to hand crank these into place. And one thing I did not test in the creative world was whether or not they can move attached objects if the rope is down. The rope was always pulled all the way up before I slid it back and forth. I only really need one of these to operate. The other one is just purely cosmetic. So I'll go ahead and throw one of these on here, set this to receive mode, and we'll call this sticker gantry. So now if I go ahead and deploy that, we are stickered, and I'm just kind of hoping that if I move this to the side by deactivating this lever, it'll just move the whole thing. Let's see what happens. Oh my god, it works. Oh, that's lovely. That's great to see. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to go ahead and deactivate that again and reactivate, and that should bring it all the way over to where the final resting place of this thing is going to sit. Lovely. Literally, so much has happened since the last clip. Ksaw and I put in a ton of effort to update the mod pack to Makeshift 6.0. We've added a bunch of new mods and updated a ton as well, but in my efforts, there's always a few things that break. Namely, these. I hand-aged all of these. None of these lightning rods had oxidization recipes via like water spouting. No, I placed all of these rods down inside my base, hand waxed, and picked them back up. But they came from the Friends and Foes mod. And when we updated just now, these have all been changed to the Minecraft lightning rods, and they are now no longer waxed. I have hours and hours and hours of my life to kill. No problem. Also, rip all of my storage containers being colored. I'm gonna have to go back through with a bunch of other dyes and like re-dye all of these. Oh, I'm a little sad about it. Ooh. Wonder what that's about. Also, the Loco Metal textures changed. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kind of getting used to them, but like, what a jarring difference. My base went from like looking one color to now looking very different. I mean, you guys are gonna have to tell me how you feel about it. Do I need to like find a resource pack or something? I mean, luckily I have a bunch of honeycomb to go re-wax all of those lightning rods, but I would also like to not waste just so much of my time. Also, I updated Distant Horizons, and like, you guys are gonna have to tell me if you can see it through like the YouTube compression, but stuff looks a lot grainier now. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm pretty sure there's a way for me to like go get Voxy and like do some changes and stuff in the back end and like make it like a Neoforge version, and then maybe potentially I could use it here. I would like that. I don't know. You guys are gonna have to let me know what you think. So I'll fix this, but I'll bring you back whenever I'm done. even more things have happened in between clips. All right, test 476. And then we're going to bring this guy down. We're going to click there. We're going to slurp. 3, 2, 1, slurp. 3, 2, 1, slurp. Sweet baby Jesus.
And I like to believe I helped.
You like to believe you helped. Brother, this would never have happened. I would have broken down and been like, never mind, I'm just going to install a post box. 3 days ago, I would have done that. I have taken the time with KSaw to design a brand new system to actually get the crane fully functional. Unfortunately, I can't really show you that right now because the boat is gone because the system is fully functional. And we need items to drop into the system before I can actually showcase how this works. And I didn't need to heal this guy, but the villager that was driving the boat is dead. Apparently, whenever they get assembled back in the world, those contraptions, if they're big enough and they don't have the light sources within the bridge area, mobs can spawn and get eaten. Anyway, I'm gonna cure this guy. He'll be maybe my next captain. He does have an eye patch. It's very piratey. But in the meantime, I'll just make sure he can't die. And we're gonna take it on over to the swamp, where I'm gonna install a post box. I'm not doing this again. This was literally 5 straight days. I think 5 straight days of just programming. Anyway, to the swamp. Aha! And here we are, over in the swamp, ready to give this guy a ton of packages of blue orchids. And for this, I think I'm going to do the simplest thing ever. Oh, we got the range cranked up on the server, so I can go ahead and grab this guy, drop down a little block right here, and just bloop. And that should work. I can approach the train station, and now I'm just going to run a bunch of belts all the way over to that guy. I'll throw in a couple of these industrial iron chain conveyors and gearboxes. A few extra belts. And finally, an andesite funnel to actually fill this thing up. Now, all we need to do is make sure we're readdressing these packages by adding a packager right here, adding a sign here, and adding in the new address to that sign. Now, eventually I can have a system actually request the packages, but this thing will only leave this port whenever that vault is entirely full, meaning it's going to have like 1,600 packages. So for now, I'm just going to grab a lever, toss that on top right here, and just let it go to town. Come to think of it, I might add one of these. Oh, that's fast. Now, all of these items are immediately going onto the ship, and it's just a matter of waiting for this thing to fill up. There wasn't 1,600 packages in that vault whenever I started sending these over, so this will not leave the port, but maybe I can run it for a little while and get this thing filled up. A couple hours of AFKing and a couple vaults full of bone meal later, I now have a little less than 1,200 total packages left in here, and I wanted to capture this thing actually leaving the area so we can go make it over to the port and watch this thing offload, but I should now be able to trigger the last few packages that we need to fill this thing up, and whenever this thing leaves the bay, we're going to see all the work we put in to make that crane actually functional. Oh, I also added in a little chunk loader here. Even if I wasn't in the area, it could still load packages. That way I can even request them from my port. There's also a nice 3x3 one over that way, right in the middle of our area here. And now we wait even longer. A suspicious number of minutes later. We've got to be getting close. There's no way we're not close, right? How many we got left? Less than 100 of each? Okay. Please tell me this is enough. I swear to God. Oh my God. It's working. Okay. Problem though. You're going the wrong direction, friend. How about we try that again? Don't mind me, I'm just gonna fix this. We haven't put any signals down over here. We're gonna go around the loop. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, this is a very tight curve. I should definitely fix that. All the way around. And now you can resume. Go ahead, buddy. And now we're in a race. Let's see if I can make it back before that thing, Oh, okay, well, all the packages stacked up anyway. Oh, well. I'll take a shortcut through the nether. All right, and it should be coming into view in just a moment. and we will finally get to see this thing function. Oh my God, I've been waiting for far too long. Here it is. Look at that beautiful thing. It really works. It's so cool. Ooh, he's going fast. Whoa. I don't know if ships are I don't know if ships are supposed to be going that fast. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh wow, I actually nailed that. And here we go. It's time to witness this in all its glory. All right, it's going to pull into the station. It's going to stop, and it's going to get placed in the world. It's not going to get placed in the world. Something's already gone wrong. I believe this needs to be hard powered, and I'm sure we missed this toggle. So let me do that. Yep, and now we've decoupled, and our crane comes down. Let's go. Now, it's going to come into place. It's going to stop, and then we're going to sticker now. Beautiful. It's going to go up. It's going to retract. In 3, 2, 1, boom. Or 3, 2, 1, boom. And the crane's going to bring it back over here, right on top of these smart chutes, which is going to offload all the packages super quickly. I'll show you how all that functions here in a moment. I just wanted to capture the full animation. And we're offloading packages, and all of them should be flowing directly into the minecart contraption that I have down here, which has a large storage buffer right there, and then comes up right over on top of this vault right here and is offloading all of those as fast as that cart contraption can bring them in. And just to make sure we don't miss anything, oh, we have already emptied it and it's already on its way back. Wow, that was fast. That was really fast. Now it's going to stop, place back the vault, de-sticker from here, re-sticker to there, which is already done, and then it should go back to its resting position. And we have officially made a real crane in Minecraft. And now that it's totally empty, it's gonna send it on its way, ready for the next pickup. Granted, we will have to move all of the items out of that vault before they can actually drop off all the items, but well, that's not supposed to happen. Clearly, I've got some bugs to work out, but hey, I mean, that thing worked. I'm stoked with the way that thing came out. Now, it's time to decorate. Oh, and I am just loving the look of this thing. It's looking really good. I'm super happy with the way this thing came out. We've cleaned up all the garbage and stuff we had down here. We've laid out some nice hazard textures so that people can kind of avoid this area so they know heavy machinery is being operated. And I wanted to kind of use a lot of these same elements we had over here. A lot of these yellow textures, peeling paint, things like that. And so we've got the large portion of the structure that's actually like holding up this center bit here. And this is what I actually will like retract and move forward and backward. Now, I didn't actually super glue that portion to the carriage here, partially because I don't think I can super glue struts, but also because, you know, I don't want to mess anything up. But I think that looks really good for, like, you know, functionality meets realism. And now, to finally take one quick look at the redstone. Okay, maybe not that quick, but a sort of quick look at the redstone. And this is what it looks like when a dumb does redstone. I'm being straight up with you right now. I'm not going to walk through every single aspect of this, at least not right now, but I want to hit the highlights about what each of these things do. A cleaner and better redstoner probably would have made this look a lot more organized, but I was fighting for my dang life. And I'm not kidding whenever I say like 3 straight days of programming all of this is what went into this process. Was it worth it? Probably not. Probably not. But it's here now, and we did it. But we're going to walk through this redstone line really, really quickly just to give you guys an idea of what all happens whenever the train arrives, right? Because the ship itself is a train. And when the bogey lines up with the train station, it is automatically going to start sending out a pulse right here because a comparator will read the train station and say, hey, there's a train here. From here, we're sending a line over to where we're doing all of our redstone bits, but this entire circuit can only get triggered whenever the inventory that's on the ship actually has items in it, meaning that this piston will push the block forward and allow the signal to pass through. That signal then triggers this circuit, which disassembles the train by sending a signal over to the deployer. Whenever you have a deployer poke a train station with a wrench, it disassembles the train, and then we de-sticker the block that's actually on the train. From there, we're checking to see if our gantry is in the right position. This is what we're calling rest position. It can't start from anywhere else, otherwise the signals will all get messed up and stuff. So we're checking to see if it's in the right spot. And if it is, this piston pushes the block into place, allowing that signal to pass through as well. From there, we're doing a couple different things. This here is a mechanism that's actually locking our gantry carriage. Whenever we lock the gantry carriage, if you remember from before, it allows the signal to pass through the gantry onto these chain drives here, and it supplies power to these sequence gear shifts. From there, we are then free to signal either one of these to allow rotational power to pass through these gear shifts and into our chain drives, which allows things to move up and down. Whenever we want to unlock that gantry, we send a signal to this line right here, which will toggle this powered latch. I don't know if... Am I digging too much into these mechanics? You okay? Do you get it? Is it making sense? I don't know. From there, we can send those signals to these guys. That's the same signal that's going to actually power the sequence gear shifts. Most of this stuff is just repeating that same sort of pattern. Most of the time, we're just triggering the sequence gear shifts to go up and down. One of the last modules that I actually want to explain is this guy right here. And this is the redstone link that actually powers the gear shift at the top of this thing. The gear shift is what changes the rotation direction. So say I want the gantry carriage to move this direction. I can go down here and I can toggle that, and now the gantry carriage is going to start moving back toward us, unless it is stuck on something. I did decorate a bunch. Now I'm kind of worried. Uh-oh. Oh. These have collision boxes now. That's annoying. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to find a different solution for that, but, oh well. All right, well, now if I was to power this, it's going to bring the entire carriage over because we've changed the rotation direction. Obviously, there's a lot more checking mechanisms and making sure we're in the right positions using these redstone contacts. We're obviously getting a triggered signal from the threshold switch and all of that, but I'm going to take a schematic of this guy and I'm going to throw it up over on the Discord. For Patreons and YouTube members, level 2 and above, and any level Twitch subscriber. I'm going to take a schematic of the whole area, so it's not like going to be the most clean thing, but if you want to check out the mechanics of it, and you aren't already supporting, consider supporting me. Even if you only subscribe for a month and download the schematics and immediately leave after, I mean, the support, it just helps a ton, and it gives me validation. Oh, and before I forget, huge shout out to Ksaw. This project would not have even been remotely close to done at this point without him. I mean, I don't want to be the one to say it, but like, what wonderfully timed PC issues. I'm so glad he couldn't work on his own videos because, oh, this video really flourished because he couldn't. And while he didn't make a ton of appearances in this video, I'm going to go ahead and make him a collaborator. If you guys want to subscribe to him as well, go ahead and click the button. His name will pop up too. I really hate ending a video like this as abruptly as I have to, but your boy's out of time. I was really hoping to have this port wrapped up in this episode, but unfortunately, I think that's where we're going to have to call it. Hopefully we get everything cleaned up in the next one. Oh, but all the angles on this thing are just fantastic. I don't know. I digress. I appreciate you all so much for watching. If you like the video, like it. And if you want to subscribe, you should do it. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.